Hi guys, Football-ManagerYouthDevelopment.co.uk here. In this episode I'm going to be sharing with you my 5 top tips for training on Football Manager 2015. The tips I'm going to be providing in this video are not going to be in any particular order, but if you do feel that there's additional comments that you would add or tips that might help other people, then please do leave your comments if you're watching this on YouTube below. My first tip is to make sure that you're being as organized as possible. So I'm going to show you these custom screens that I've got set up here. I have showed you guys some of these sort of screens that I've got set up in other videos that I've got. But basically what I will do, this screen is developed so that I can have a look at training and tutoring all on one screen. So I've got all the players' ability, potential, all their positions. The training aspect of it comes into their focus and intensity, so it's really easy for me to be organised. I can literally just select exactly what I want to train the player on, and I can set their intensity all from a couple of clicks of the buttons. Regarding their tutoring as well, bit of a separate topic, but certainly something good to show you guys. So their media handlings here, personality, determination and work rate. So yeah, just make sure that you're setting up your own custom screens just to make sure you're as organised as possible. My second tip is to make sure that you're performing regular checks on your players. So at the first of every month, you're going to be likely to get a training report from your, either your assistant manager, or you can set it so that your director of football, maybe, or even your youth coaches are going to be telling you about this. So what you need to be having a look at is very important that you're checking out the impressive performances. Obviously, it's really good when you do see all the green arrows. That obviously means the players are going to be performing really well. Certainly with younger players, like this guy here, for example, 20 years old, and you can just see how much this guy's improving. I do make sure that I do perform regular checks on just all my players just to make sure that they are developing in the right way. Certainly if you do see some concerning performances like you might do with, say, this guy here, you need to really have a look at why this is. Potentially it might just be that they're not happy with their training schedule, or they might have come back from an injury or something like this, but you really do need to be clear on exactly why their performance not going too well. So yeah, make sure that you're performing regular checks on your players, and certainly my tip would be to make sure that you do it at the first of every month. My third tip is to make sure that you're reviewing exactly what your players need to work on. So I've said it quite a number of times before, but when you have got younger players, it's really important to make sure that their physical attributes are good before working on their technical and mental attributes. So this 20-year-old here, I've got him on loan at the moment from Copenhagen, but you can see here that his physical attributes are pretty well developed at the age of 20. So what I've been slowly working on with him is his mental attributes and his technical attributes. Now, to help me review exactly what I need to be working on for each player, obviously it's not very good to try and remember it all off the top of your head, so make sure that you're making notes on all of your players. So what I will regularly do is go through every single player, and just for example, if I wanted to take this guy here, and so I see at the moment that his strength is 6. Now what I've decided to do is put this guy on a different training schedule. Pretty bad example here because I'm actually working on his quickness. It's actually because he's in my under 18s and my youth coach has changed that. But yeah, this guy just as an example. So he is currently working on his composure. And what you'll see, I've got some notes here that his composure is 9 at the moment. And yeah, so what you can do is when his composure has gone up to 10, you can basically switch up his training schedule on something else. So you may have noticed here that I did have a note on this player that his stamina was 12. So what I would have done is gone to training. On the focus, he would have had stamina, and the focus intensity would have been heavy. You can see now that this guy's stamina has gone up to 13. So that one attribute increase has meant that I was able to work on a different attribute for this guy to, just to make sure that he's improving as much as possible. So yeah, notes are definitely someone I would highly recommend. So yeah, just this guy, for example, he's got a composure of 10 when I made this note. And so what I'll be doing, I'll just be having a look on here. And now I can see that his composure's gone up to 11. So this guy, I'll pick probably another random attribute completely at random that I think he'll need improving on. And yeah, I'll just make sure that I change his training just so that he's focusing on something else. And of course, then just make another note. You do that by going into the history tab, and then you go into notes, and you can just create notes here. Or what I do, I normally just edit the notes here. But yeah, that helps you to keep check on your players and just keep as organized as possible. My fourth tip is to make sure that your players' morale is as high as possible. I don't know if it is really directly linked, but I have always found that the higher the players' morale, the better they're going to be performing in training. So if we have a look at this guy here, he's got superb morale at the moment. He's obviously a regen. I've actually got this guy on loan from Arsenal. He's been playing a hell of a lot of matches for me as well. And so, yeah, he's been performing really, really well. For someone who was 18 for most of this season, but you can see he's got lots and lots of green arrows. And yeah, he's performing really, really well in training. Obviously, the green arrows do mean that he's doing well in training. So yeah, just really, really do make sure that your player morale is as high as possible. And what you will be finding, the higher morale, most of the time you will be finding that the players are performing well in training, and you're hopefully going to be seeing lots of green arrows. My fifth and final check is to just make sure that you're having a regular check of your coaches. So if you can afford it, I would highly recommend that you go to your board screen and just see how many coaches you are actually allowed to have for your first team. So I'm currently managing a Swiss club. We're not exactly the biggest club, certainly hoping to make this club a lot bigger. Fingers crossed I'll be getting into Europe pretty soon. But yeah, so this club I'm actually allowed eight coaches. So what I've been working on over the last few seasons is just making sure going to training and then coaches. So yeah, just making sure that I'm just improving these as much as possible. Now, I have actually found a really, really good coaching calculator that I am going to put into the link of this YouTube video. And yeah, that will just give you guys a bit of a hand in exactly what attributes you need to be looking at, just to make sure that you're getting the best coaches possible. The key attributes really are going to be determination, the discipline and motivating of the players. These are the real key kind of things that you need to look at, and then obviously to sort of complement them three, you need to be having a look at the kind of more technical attributes. Obviously when I do provide a link to that coaching calculator, that'll kind of explain in a little bit more detail how it works. Obviously, depending on the size of your club, that's going to really determine the type of coach that you can get. But just make sure that you are getting the very best coaches that you can for your club. I'd also say, if you can afford it, just make sure that you're keeping up to date with your, upgrading your facilities. So obviously, you want to be making sure that your training facilities are as up to date as possible. And just keep pestering the board every so often, just to make sure that they're improving your facilities for you. I am going to call this the end of the episode here, guys. So yeah, I hope this video has really helped you. Obviously, like I said at the beginning of the video, if you do have any additional tips you would think would be handy for other people to have on tactics, or sorry, on training, then please do share them in the comments below. And of course, do subscribe to the channel, and we'll be back very soon for some more Football Manager videos. And of course, do hit that like button. Really does help the channel. And yeah, thanks for listening to this video, guys.